Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. We're here to bring you the latest and greatest gaming news of the week. I am your host, Sean Hayes. This is episode 320, and I have a very special guest in the studio today. What's your name?
Theo.
My son, Theo. Yeah. I asked Theo if he would like to do the show with me today, and what did you say? So the two of us are going to do the show. We are not doing a gift guide today, as there was a bunch of news this week. Who knew? So, yeah. In particular, the Game Awards were 2 nights ago. So have a bunch of news related to that. And then I want to remind everyone that I'm not a reporter. I'm not a journalist. So I relay headlines and provide color commentary. Because one of the topics today, there's going to be a lot of color commentary.
Yeah.
So, Theo, should we get right into what we want to talk about today? Yeah? Okay. So, we're going to get into this week's topics. First up, Polygon reports that Ravensburger has revealed the next 2 sets for Lorcana. Arcasia's Island, featuring Bolt, Dougie, and Reign of Jafar, featuring Jafar. So, what do you think, bud? Good? So yes, for those who don't know what Lorcana is, this is Disney's TCG. So the next set...
I don't think they really like it.
The next set, shocking that it features Bolt. You like Bolt?
Yeah.
That's the dog movie. That's the doggy where he thinks he's a superhero.
It don't mean like it. Fire, it's bird papa.
And then everybody knows who Jafar is from Aladdin. Suspected that Reign of Jafar will be similar to an Ursula's Return set. So we may see...
Not a dragon.
No, it's not a dragon. He's a wizard.
I said the dragon game.
He's very stuck on a dragon game. So, yes. So it'll be similar to Ursula's Return, I think. We may see another like cooperative product designed to like take down Jafar. This story was heavily implied during Ursula's Return that Jafar would be the next villain. Although there was also a lot of implications that like Hades could have been the next one as well. So we might see Hades pop up as another similar set in the future.
Papa.
Yeah.
Is I looking at those? Is I looking? Hey, I know looking.
We're doing a show right now, bud. So, next up, IGN reports that Grinding Gear Games sequel to its smash hit ARPG Path of Exile has launched in early access, and it's receiving some tuning to its treasure drops. Do you like treasure?
Yeah.
Do you like more treasure?
Yeah.
Everybody loves more treasure. So, for those who are playing, they understand that it was a pain point. Apparently, loot was not dropping very often.
Papa, it's Charmander. It's Charmander out there. Look, Charmander.
For audio listeners, there is a stuffed Charmander behind us. Also, for benefit, Theo's 4. So, there's going to be some silliness on today's episode. So, what do you think of this map?
Silly map.
It's a silly map?
Yeah.
So, for those who have been playing Path of Exile 2 and have been frustrated with the lack of loot drops, that should be fixed by now. Because I think they were putting out a patch for that. And if you have been playing, how is it? Let me know. Because I played the first one in early access. I haven't done this one yet. Just because I have a backlog of games already. And I tend to, these days, avoid games that are in early access, but I don't know, it might be worth checking out. Grindy Gear Games has a pretty good track record with Path of Exile, so yeah. Tuning. It's gonna happen a lot in early access, folks. Next up, one of the big topics for the week is the Game Awards. You want to get down? Are you all done?
And I getting my chair.
Polygon has a list of the winners. Notable titles include Astrobot for winning Best Game, Best Game Direction, Best Action Adventure Game, and Best Family Game. That one's notable, and that Best Family Game is kind of like the Nintendo category. So it did beat out Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Balatro won Best Mobile Game and Best Indie Game. And sadly, Frostpunk 2 beat Unicorn Overlord for Best Strategy Game. Baldur's Gate 3 won Best Community Support. Notably for mod support. So, Game Awards, always, it's a little bit of a controversial topic. Just because I think people want like a People's Choice Awards type ceremony. And because they complain that it's like a lot of just like, big names in the industry just pick like games that they want to win kind of a thing, which, the irony is, they wanted the Game Awards to be like a big sort of classy event like the Academy Awards. And that's what the Academy Awards is. It's industry professionals picking things that they feel like should win, like the Academy panel. They still vote, like the Academy still votes on it, but it's not the public voting. Although there is a component to that for the Game Awards.
And I saw a big eagle. A big eagle is
What's that?
a papa.
You want to come sit and do the show?
A papa. Is that Treasure's son? Me and you. Hey, no.
All right, folks. See, it seems my my co-host for the day has gone off. So, oh, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw Spencer.
What do you think, bud? Do any of these games sound cool?
Yeah.
Astrobot? Does that sound cool? How about Princess Peach Showtime?
Maybe put these back in.
No, we don't need to put them anywhere. What about Princess Peach Showtime?
No.
No, that doesn't sound cool. No, Princess Peach?
No.
You don't like Princess Peach?
No.
How about Super Mario Party Jamboree?
Yeah.
That sounds cool?
Yeah.
How about Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom?
No.
No. That's the one that I've been playing.
Why?
How about Balatro? Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
That's got cards.
What?
How about Unicorn Overlord?
Yes.
That sounds cool. Good, because it is a very cool game, and it should have won. So yeah, so those are up. Notably, they added a new category called the Game Changer.
Lego Party.
All right. To commemorate like somebody who's been doing like making positive changes within the gaming industry. So the person who won, I guess won for being someone who like has been helping developers get back on their feet after being laid off and like finding like work placement and things like that. So yeah. Next up, one of the titles announced at the Game Awards, Polygon reports that CD Projekt Red revealed a trailer for The Witcher 4. This one starring Ciri as the protagonist and playable main character in the next title, which will be the start of a new trilogy. So, I think this will be very interesting. So I know I've only played Witcher 3. And for me, it was a little bit of a shift during the parts where you play as Ciri. But I think especially if she gets to keep her magical abilities, this will be really interesting. So the trailer shows that she has fully taken on the mantle of a Witcher and Monster Hunter.
Go play.
You gonna go play? All right, go play. Nope.
It was something in there. That's nothing in there.
All right. So, yeah, I'm curious to see if the series like holds up as well successfully, like as a commercial success without Geralt, or not as a playable character. But you know, if they put it on Steam, I will absolutely consider it. Because I think there's a lot of potential here. And I'm also interested to see like where they go with the story. Since like it feels like a lot of the original Witcher trilogy was focused on Cirilla. So it'll be interesting to see like where they move that story, if she's still like the focal point of it as like why the story moves forward. When she was like a main character but wasn't the playable main character, if that makes sense. But yeah, so as usual, because it's a game that features a female protagonist in a series that traditionally had a male protagonist, there's certain subsets of the gaming community that have been losing their minds. And I'm just very tired of that. So, and I mean, it looks great, you know. So, yeah, I don't think we got like a release date, but just that it's in development. Let's just check real quick. Looking. No, there is no release date. It's all people just speculating on what it could be. So, yeah. Yeah. Here's hoping also that CD Projekt Red learned its lesson with the Cyberpunk launch to like not rush these things, and that like if you need more time, take the time. All right. Finally, our last topic for the day, and the one where I will have the most color commentary for. Rascal reports that Wormwood, the gaming-aligned woodworking company, has laid off 50% of its workforce. They also, because of their YouTube channel, controversial YouTube channel, filmed both the management discussions leading up to the decision to do the layoffs, as well as the ensuing aftermath of informing the rest of the company of the layoffs. Yeah, I have not been a fan of Wormwood since the last controversy, where they basically harassed and bullied a sexual assault victim. And kind of exposed like how toxic their culture is there, from management specifically. In particular, like complaining about OSHA standards, and where the CEO Doug noted that like he doesn't do this for the money, like he could just retire on Bitcoin, which like, you know, granted, if you run a business, part of that should be to make money. Like you should be just making decisions that make you money, because that's how you stay in business. However, you should also realize that perhaps the culture that you're putting forth is costing you money to the point that people aren't buying your products. And also maybe understand that if you sell what are luxury items, like, that's the thing. When you sell a table for 10 grand, that's a luxury item. People can't afford luxury items right now. Like, nobody can. Yeah. I'm also, it's Wormwood just irritates me to no end because they're based in Massachusetts. They need to do better. And unfortunately, it won't get better until they throw Doug out of the company. So, yeah. I will note the article on Rascal. I only read a snippet of it. It was a pretty long snippet. But if you want to go peruse that article, it is either available through subscription or you can pay like a one-time fee to read it. Just as a forewarning, I like to give people a heads up on that as someone whose day job is at a newspaper that has a paywall. But yeah, no, it's I like to support local when I can, but this is definitely a case where local does not automatically mean better. And in this case, the workers that are left, like have to now retrain and pick up the slack. So now they're going to be doing double the work for definitely not double the pay. And longtime listeners of the podcast know how I feel about either gaming industry or gaming aligned industry treatment of workers. So this is a case where I mean, the shop floor workers should unionize, should have a union, 100%, especially in a company like this, where the CEO has blatantly tried to fight against implementing OSHA standards for safety. Yeah. So, and for those who have followed Wormwood for a long time, not necessarily supported, but followed what they were doing, this probably comes as no surprise. But it's just the blatant, like filming the discussions of you having to lay off workers is already a terrible choice. Like, just logistically, but also it's slimy. And the problem is, like, that's what their YouTube channel lives on, called Worm Life, where it's like a terrible version of The Office, but they're not actors. Like, The Office is funny because it's not real, because it's a show. Everything hits a lot differently when it's real people being affected by those decisions, and it's things that are actually happening in a workplace. Like that, like, sitcoms aren't funny when that stuff happens to real people. So, yeah, before I get too fired up even further, that is our last topic for the day. So, yeah, I don't know, don't support Wormwood, or do. I'm not your boss. I won't. And not just because I can't afford it. But for example, I mean, it cost me, a couple, maybe like $600. But I built a table. Just to throw that out there. Like, I found plans online to do a gaming table, and I built one. And a big chunk of that cost was having to buy a saw. But if you have access to one already, like if you have access to the tools already, you can do it for a whole lot cheaper, and also build skills for yourself, because like people are more than willing to share plans for how to do this stuff online. So yeah, and the one I have has power, so there's something to also think about there. All right, so that is going to be our last topic for the day. Thank you all for your patience with having my son as a co-host. As I said, he is 4, so we're still working on some skills, but I think he did a fine job for being a 4-year-old. Unfortunately, he bailed out on me halfway through the show, so we'll see. I know. Let me know if you want to have him back on the show in the future. So that is going to wrap things up for this week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for watching. You can find more content on 8-bitadventures.com. If you want to help support that content, the best way to do so is to become a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. And I would like to do a big shout out and thank you to all of my current patrons. Thank you for your continued support. And finally, our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. So, as always, have fun, everyone. Happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.